A new boss at the International Monetary Fund almost certainly means new directions for the global lender. How will its role change under Christine Lagarde? How much of a bigger say will the world's fast-rising developing economies get? At an economic conference in New York, some questioned the very existence of the IMF.
If it just became a talking shop, then it would be fine. But then we have the OECD to do that. We have the OECD to produce reports and provide a forum for discussion. And why do we need both the IMF and the OECD? In this age of austerity, shouldn't we be thinking of cutting back on bodies that don't need to exist rather than desperately floundering around to find a mission for them that make some sense?
Another point, what about the complaints of countries like China, India and Brazil that they should have a bigger say to go with their growing economic clout?
In a way, that seems perfectly reasonable and normal and appropriate. On the other hand, it's the rich countries' money, wasn't it? That was the original idea. It was the rich countries' money, and of course, since it's their money, they'd rather like to have a decisive say about how it is used.
In essence, you pay, you play. And regardless of who is running it, the IMF will have a very big job to do.
The role of the IMF, of course, is always going to be dealing with some of the major balance of payments difficulties that countries can have and helping solve those types of problems. The other are issues related to development, but without a doubt, the monitoring that the IMF can do and the early warning systems that they can put in place and advancing in those directions, I think, is the way to go.
New IMF Director Christine Lagarde now has a chance to implement her own ideas just as soon as she's headed off a debt default by Greece.
No,